The compact mobile phones of 2024 provide an ideal balance of compact size and high performance. Just because they are smaller than their competitors does not imply that their specs are necessarily inferior, and they may also be less expensive. Spend a few days with one of these phones and you might wonder why you'd need anything bigger. Plus, they fit in your pockets. So, in this video, we've composed a brief consumer guide and reviewed the top 5 best compact phones you can buy in 2024. For more information, the products, we've included links in the description box down below. Let's get started. Sony Xperia V. If you can manage to pay a bit more, the Sony Xperia V is an excellent little Android phone with impressive multimedia capabilities. Although it sports a 6.1-inch display, it feels smaller in the hand thanks to the longer 21:9 form factor. It features a 6.1-inch OLED display with a resolution of 2520 by 1080 pixels. The screen is clear and sharp with vivid colors that aren't oversaturated. The screen has a 120Hz refresh rate, as expected for this pricing, which allows for incredibly smooth scrolling and swiping, whether via app menus or mobile games. Around that is superior casing throughout, which has been somewhat redesigned this time. The previous generation's cheap-feeling plastic has been replaced by a solid aluminum frame with tougher Gorilla Glass Victus 2, which covers the device's front and back. The Sony Xperia V is powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor and supports up to 12GB of RAM and 512GB of internal storage. You can also expand the phone's memory using an SD card. Besides, what the Xperia V excels at is sound quality, which comes from both the front-firing dual speakers and the headphone port, and it provides a variety of audio options. Let's talk about lenses. The Sony Xperia V features a 52-megapixel main camera, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide lens, and a 12-megapixel selfie camera. Unfortunately, Sony decided to remove the telephoto lens available in the previous model. Another good element is a sizable 5,000 mAh battery, which remains unaltered from its predecessor. Also, it supports 30-watt wired charging and 15-watt wireless charging. Overall, the Sony Xperia V combines flagship features, excellent performance, and the distinctive Xperia camera system in a tiny body. It will appeal to photography and videography aficionados in particular, but that isn't all it has to offer. Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5. Samsung continues to make modest generational advances. The Flip 5 is the best example of this principle. The clamshell handset is not only less expensive than the Z Fold, but also more compact and portable, with an easier learning curve. The hinge also feels just as nice and sturdy as the older flagship, so you still have a premium user experience. When folded, the Z Flip 5 is a genuinely tiny Android phone, yet when opened, the Flip 5's display is 6.7 inches diagonally and 6.5 inches in length, making it unsuitable for pocketing or one-handed operation. When folded, the form factor is reduced to 3.3 inches, making it easy to fit into any pocket. Apps can then be used on the smaller outer screen of 3.4 inches. It's actually too small and illogical for a small phone, but it does make the Galaxy Flip 5 the smallest phone on this list. The Galaxy Z Flip 5 packs Qualcomm's new Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 for Galaxy, which is the same one you get inside the Fold 5 and the Galaxy S23 series flagships. Also, it has an 8GB of RAM, up to 512GB of internal storage, as well as 3,700 mAh battery, which is the same as the Flip 4. The Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5's camera options remain unchanged. A 12-megapixel main camera with optical image stabilization, and another 12-megapixel 123-degree ultra-wide unit, or flip the phone open to reveal the same 10-megapixel selfie camera housed within a central hole punch notch. Overall, the Galaxy Z Flip 5 is a fun folding flip phone that breaks up the monotony of glass slab smartphones and is an excellent choice for those who prefer a smaller phone in their pockets. However, there are various compromises here, ranging from the outside screen to battery life and camera quality. Number 3. Google Pixel 7a. Google's Pixel A series has been a value leader since its introduction. While most A-series phones are tiny in size and price, they frequently have similarly minimal specifications. This time around, however, the Pixel 7a can be dubbed a value flagship phone that also serves as the greatest compact phone available. It has a smaller 6.1-inch display than the Pixel 7, but it has the same 1080 by 2040 resolution, which gives it a higher pixel density. It's still an OLED panel with a 90Hz refresh rate, but Google is keeping quiet about its max brightness, which is likely not as high as the Pixel 7's 1400 nits. Nonetheless, it's been quite light for everyday use. The Pixel 7a's bezels aren't particularly thin, but they're also not obtrusive. Furthermore, with the Google Tensor G2 CPU, 8GB of RAM, and 128 8GB of internal storage, you get a well-rounded smartphone that can easily handle your daily chores. The Pixel 7a's 64-megapixel camera also takes excellent photos that will suit casual snappers well. Where the Pixel 7a flexes its mid-range muscles is in the camera department, using the flagship-level Tensor G2 chipset to power a range of AI features like Super Res Zoom and Night Sight, along with exclusive photo editing features that remove distractions from the background and even sharpen blurry images. The 4,385 mAh battery should provide 5 hours of screen time, which is middling at best. Depending on how hard you drive your device, that may be a full day of use, but it could also be significantly less. Overall, if you're seeking for a budget-friendly tiny phone, the Google Pixel 7a in 2024 is the best option. iPhone 13 mini. The iPhone 13 mini is the very definition of a compact phone, with a size similar to the 4.7-inch iPhone SE but a larger 5.4-inch display that takes up almost the whole front of the phone. That combination results in a form factor that is delightfully tiny and easy to operate one-handed, especially at 141 grams, while yet providing a larger screen than most smartphones of this size. Granted, the 5.4-inch 120Hz panel is still a long way from the 6.1-inch displays used by most other mini smartphones in 2024, but if you want the smallest, most compact alternative, this is it. The iPhone 13 mini, like the 2020 model, shares the same characteristics as its larger brothers, beginning with the powerful A15 Bionic chip, which Apple estimates are almost 50% faster than the next best Android competition. There is also good news if the iPhone 13 mini inspires you to shoot more images. Apple has increased the storage tiers starting with 2020 smartphones, thus the severely restrictive 64GB entry-level size is no longer available. Say hello to 128GB, 256GB, and 512GB minis, but also to increasing phone costs in most areas. The cameras also received an improvement from the previous model. The 12-megapixel wide-angle primary and ultra-wide cameras now have bigger sensors that allow in more light. The ultra-wide now features autofocus. This year's new features include cinematic mode and photographic styles. The iPhone 13 mini's biggest drawback is its battery life, with a very small cell offering just enough power for our reviewer to go through the day, but only with around 35% remaining. That is a little too near for comfort. Overall, the iPhone 13 mini is the best option for individuals looking for a smaller handset using Apple's iOS platform. In fact, it's still considered the greatest tiny phone on the market. ZenFone 10. The ZenFone 10 weighs just 172 grams, which is a touch heavier than the ZenFone 9, but still quite light overall. The phone has a polycarbonate back made from bio-based materials that feel good to hold. It has an IP68 rating for dust and water resistance, which should keep it safe from spilled drinks. The compact body necessitates a small screen, and at 5.9 inches, this is one of the tiniest displays available on a modern smartphone. It does equal the resolution and dimensions of previous ZenFone versions, with 1080 by 2400 Full HD Plus returning. The frame rate has increased to 144 Hz, allowing for better action. This is only available in games and not for everyday use, so non-gamers will be unable to take advantage of it. Underneath its compact design is a powerhouse of performance powered by up to 16GB of RAM and up to 512GB of storage. It's offering lightning-fast response and plenty of room for all your digital demands. Furthermore, the ZenFone 10 comes equipped with the latest and fastest Qualcomm chipset, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. Furthermore, the ZenFone 10 is equipped with a dual camera system that includes a 50-megapixel primary lens with 6-axis hybrid gimbal stabilizer 2.0, a 13-megapixel ultra-wide-angle lens, and a 32-megapixel front camera, allowing you to unleash your creativity and capture spectacular moments with unrivaled clarity and precision. Move to battery life. While otherwise compact, the ZenFone 10 is significantly thicker than the average flagship phone to accommodate its 4,300 mAh battery, which supports up to 30-watt wired fast charging and 15-watt wireless charging. Overall, Asus's ZenFone 10 sets a new standard for tiny flagships. Brilliant gestures, solid build quality, and the addition of wireless charging make this a difficult little phone to top.